Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Meaghan Kirschling with One Agora Health. One of the things that I'm seeing more and more, and that I think we need to talk about more and more, is how hard this year has been for individuals. And I'm seeing it more by talking one-on-one with people in the rooms. And individuals, it's a really odd year too, because even people who are doing okay, it's just a very heavy year. And so what I hear a lot of is, I'm not sleeping as well. Maybe I'm having a little bit more anxiety. I'm waking up, there's more on my mind. And then also usually in the same breath, but I'm not doing as bad as others. So there's a lot of guilt, and there's a lot of shame. There's a lot of worry. There's just a lot of emotions. And one of the things that we see time and time again is that really affects our sleep. And I think we need to be really proactive about this and really acknowledge it when it's happening, because a lot of us just sort of think, okay, this is just a phase, or we'll just get past this, or that we just need to sort of brush it aside and ignore it. And that's not great for the human psyche. We really sort of have to listen to our bodies. And one of the things that we see time and time again is that sleep is a great indicator of how well we're doing. When we're able to get good, relaxed, full sleep and able to sleep through the night, that really is letting our body know that it's getting into these rest and digest, relax, and restore modes, that it's getting into parasympathetic. And when we are in more of a fight or flight, which a lot of us have been this year, and there's no shame, no guilt about that, because that's where a lot of us are, and we need to realize that, is that what happens then is that our body isn't able to get into more restorative sleep. We're going into these fight or flights, we're staying up at night worried, or we're waking up at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. because of the stress of this year and what we're all sort of going through, and individually what we're all going through. So there are some things that we can do, and that's where I do want to share. But I do think the number one thing is to really be aware of your body. You know, when you start to see that this is happening more and more, just take a moment to check in, to say, this is okay. My body is telling me that there's more I'm taking on than I realize. And meditation, working through it, journaling it, really getting in touch with those emotions is so important. Because like I said, what most of us have felt this year is heaviness, an overabundance of stress, and then also just feeling that, well, it's not as bad for me as for other people. This is an individual journey that we are going through, in the sense of we need to be aware of where we're at, what we're doing, and not to just brush it aside. And then obviously we're all in this together too. But when we talk individually about where we're at, an important thing is to first be in touch with, what are you feeling? Are you feeling a lot of anger? Are you feeling a lot of resentment? Are you feeling a lot of worry? Are you feeling frustration? Are you feeling overwhelmed? And to really try to tap into that emotion so that you can really get in and say, okay, I need to work through this resentment because I'm feeling this and it's okay, but I've got to figure out what it is. One way that's actually sort of interesting, and I find really powerful, is if you're waking up at the same time every night. So let's say you're waking up at 1 a.m. every night. Google online the Chinese clock. And we do find that certain emotions go with certain times. And so if it's a pattern that you're seeing, I tell people start there a lot of times, because it's really interesting what you'll find. So for instance, if you're waking up at 1 a.m., that's the liver, and that can be resentment. So that can help you get in touch with what's the underlying issue that's not getting resolved, so that you can work through it. And like I said, personally, I find meditation is really helpful. I find that journaling is very helpful, and just really being able to sit with those emotions and work through them, instead of letting them just sort of sit there and not get resolved. There are some supplements that can help. I think melatonin is a great one. We have found time and time again that by going on melatonin, you're not becoming dependent on it. You're not depleting your own production, but do start with the lowest dose possible and sort of work up. With that being said, most people will start with about 1 milligram, and some people will get up to 10 milligrams. Some will even get up to more than that. But usually somewhere between 1 to 10 milligrams is where most people do really well. There's also liposomal melatonin, which is a liquid melatonin, which is absorbed pretty quickly. So some people do better with that liquid liposomal melatonin than they do with a pill. The other thing to remember is the half-life of melatonin is not very long. They say it's about 42 to 47 minutes. So what that means is by an hour and a half, you've already excreted from your body about 75% of that melatonin. So there are some extended release melatonins. So I have a lot of patients take an extended release melatonin, with maybe some liposomal melatonin so that they get a big dose at the beginning to fall asleep, and then they get more throughout the night to stay asleep. Zymogen has a great one called melatonin CR, so that can be an option to take an extended release with a fast-acting either pill or liposomal. 5-HTP, which is a serotonin precursor, is another great thing that I see really work for people to take before bed. And so you can take 5-HTP. It'll help get your serotonin levels up, which is that feel-good relaxation hormone. Be careful if you are on any antidepressants or SSRIs, just that you don't overdo it with a 5-HTP. And it is best to ask your functional medicine provider or your medical doctor if it's okay to take 5-HTP if you are on that class of drugs. And then the other thing that has been amazing is magnesium, which a lot of people know about and take for the relaxation benefits of helping them sleep. The other kind of magnesium that I want to tell people about is there's great magnesium oils to put on the bottom of their feet, which are a great way to help relax you right before bed to help you sleep. Essential oils is another great way. There's a couple of different essential oils that you can use to help sleep, from lavender to cypress is another great one. And then there are some sleep blends too that will help get people to relax and be able to sleep. The other thing that helps people sometimes is a warm bath right before bed, and do that maybe with an Epsom salt bath. So you're also getting some magnesium, so you get that relaxation and ability to fall asleep and stay asleep. So I just really want people to realize that, when we talk about the stress of this year, it's been real, it's been intense. And even though, we are in this together, it's been very individual. I think we all have found that there are times that this year has just been too much. And so with that being said, I really want people to be in tune with how they're feeling, not to be afraid of it, ashamed of it, or feel like they're not allowed to feel it because of what other people are feeling besides them, and to really stay in tune with their bodies and their health so that we can come out of 2020 stronger and healthier. If you guys do have any questions about sleep, please reach out to us at info@oneagorahealth.com. Or if you're having sleep issues and want help, please call us and set up an appointment by calling 952-681-2157. Thanks, guys.